Hello world, Freedom Reba Darcy and Patricia O'Connor here. And tonight on the Bonsai balcony, outside it's raining sideways and the wind is blowing and it's gusting and it's doing all kinds of creepy things. While one of the trees that really wouldn't mind it so much, I brought in. This is my little uh, bald cypress, and it seems to be taking a growth spurt. It's doing pretty good. I had said in a couple of prior videos that I felt it was a little over potted. Also, I have plans for this pot. Other plans for this pot. Plans that mean that this little tree is about to vacate this little pot. Now, I got this. This is a little Japanese unglazed pot. I really like it. I saw it being offered on one of the little bonsai sites, and I just liked it right away. And at the time, this tree, which is called Little Spoon, had two trunks and was tall, and it made perfect sense to be in there in a way. Except for, in a way it doesn't make sense. It's a little, breaks the rules ever so slightly, in that conifers go in unglazed pots. Sure enough, oaks and others, but usually trees that go in unglazed pots tend to be trees that are evergreens. And Little Spoon is a bald cypress, and bald cypress lose all of their fronds and go bare in the winter. So that wasn't in itself a reason to get it out of here. What was a reason to get out of here is it's also this much past prime potting season. Prime potting season for a cypress is when the buds are just starting to just break out of that's when it's prime, absolutely the sweet spot. I'm not going to sweat the sweet spot on this one. I think it'll be fine. What has actually got me moving right now on this guy at this moment is the part where I want this pot, because some of my pines are in their sweet spot for it's time to start repotting those guys. And that's what I want. I want to free up this pot for another tree, and I'm not going to say really any more about that right now. I'm not going to say any more about this than that right now. Now, the question being, I've already kind of spilled the beans that normally you're not supposed to like plant a tree or pot a tree that loses all of its leaves or needles or fronds in the winter in an unglazed pot. Typically, that's what glazed pots are for. Whenever you lose all of your foliage, and there's a time like with maples and stuff where they have a pretty, and there's a time when bald cypress absolutely show this rust color that this past winter was just to die for. I mean, it was really, really, really beautiful. But after that, then you're looking at, what around December or January when it's completely bare, what then? So for that reason, you typically, plant it in something with a little color to it so that you would be able to look at some color. And these are my choices that I have that would have a little color to them. And easy. This guy. I love this little pot. I got this from Eric at Bonsai, and I think this is kind of probably arched a little in the kiln. So in other words, without knowing better, that may be a flaw. But I like it. I like the way that little it sits good. So if that is a flaw, it's kind of bridged a little, you know. But I've always loved this little pot. That might be a good color for that. But that's also a big pot, and I'm thinking that I would like to go smaller. And when it came to my larger cypress trees, I was kind of thinking about doing something like a green, like if I had something that had a green tint, but with that kind of speckly, you know, and maybe if in the proportions it were thin, like a tray, and then I had those three. That was something that I have in the back of my mind for my large grouping. But for this guy, I don't. We're just gonna look. We're just gonna look. What we do know is that I have an idea that I would like to use this. I would like to better utilize this pot. This tree is over potted for what I want it to do. It's starting to get a little fat a little quick. What I want it to do is heal, but I don't want it to get fat and this part to get super tall. So we're going to back that up a little bit by putting it in a smaller container. We're also going to, in so doing, we will be using a glazed pot, which will fix that little unglazed thing, faux pas. And then at the same time, we'll be freeing up a really cool pot for something that is also better timed than this. This isn't poorly timed. For here, this will be fine. But, yeah. So that's just kind of what's going on there. I believe I've got that loose enough. Tonight's tools will be the wire cutters you just saw, my bungee, my trusty bungee, probably some scissors, probably my printers. This would be a good job for my stainless printers. I'm looking at some nice tools in some of the other videos here lately. Stainless is good for stuff like this because cypress, like especially mine this time of year, it's going to be a lot of water and a lot of wet substrate. So that kind of makes that part kind of makes the cypress a good way to go. Yeah, that's loose. I think I can get that in any size pot here, which kind of was the $100 question earlier on. Minimize mess. Pat should be real cool, for one thing. All right. I'm going to leave that on the tray because it has a huge drain hole in the bottom of it. And if I set that anywhere, it's going to just dump all that out. Okay. Where is that? We can cut that loose. I think we're going to go small on this. It's going to be exciting. I wish I had like a dozen choices, but ooh, that's actually pretty cool. I was gonna go there and then probably this guy. This guy. This is a good part for this. This was a really good pot for a Ponderosa came in this, but I don't. But what the same rule that I was just saying, the Ponderosa was an evergreen. So, but I still thought it was a really cool pot. I could kind of see why Randy Smith went with it. This is our guy. All right, we had 3 choices, so we're not going to totally roll over without examining all 3 of our choices and freeing up our hands. There we go, for my partner in crime. All right, choice number 3. This little tree has got a lot going for it. It's going to look really good. It's going to look really good in anything. Roll back to number 2. Okay. Roll back to number 2. This is going to be our guy, I believe. Get some of the moss off this trunk. Man, this trunk is really fattened up and it's looking really good. That would probably... this trunk is really starting to fatten up. This is going to make a great looking little show hand. Pretty psyched about that. Now that I see the base here, look how fat that is. I don't know about all of those. It would be cool if I could maybe think that they would web out or something, but I don't think they will. Okay. What I need to see is these guys. I'm not going to cut back a whole lot, just the stuff. It's like as deep as I buried it. The trunk got really fat, but then it was filling out with roots too. So I don't think those would ever do anything cool. If I thought they would buttress or anything, I might keep them. That would, these are cypress trees and that's something they do. But I don't think any of these little roots up here would ever do anything more than just kind of look like, it keeps our trunk from looking clean. It just looks all clingy. and there wasn't a whole lot attached to them. I mean, they were viable, but there wasn't a whole lot. I'm not cutting off tons of stuff when I cut those loose. Okay. Yeah, I don't know that that's bad. Kind of giving these a little comb out. A little bit to remove there. I think we'll be okay. All right.